Welcome to the MrMaple Show. What's going on, everybody? Got me and my buddy Corbin here hanging out today in the garden. We got an amazing lineup of plants for everybody today. Get excited, guys, because this lineup is going to be really cool. A lot of crucial plants, I think, for any collector out there, or if you're trying to create a beautiful landscape in your garden, we got some plants that you need to pick up today.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of variety going on in today's Tent 10. It's so awesome, man. Summer is in full swing right now. It's hot.
It's hot.
But hey, that's a good time. You know, start thinking about how we build some shade gardens and that sort of thing in the backyard.
Absolutely.
And we got some awesome plants today. We'll start off today with a little Acer Palmatum Looking Glass Falls.
Acer Palmatum Looking Glass Falls, man. This is an Area 51 collection tree, pendulous treasures. Like the MrMaple bros go hard when it comes to picking out cultivars. Looking Glass Falls is such an epic style, a Ryusen style Japanese maple. If you could kind of think of like Murasako Kiyohime with that purple border coming out in spring with that weeping habit. So those two combinations together is pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a cool tree that has a lot of homages to our local area and then kind of some homages to traditional naming conventions of Japanese trees.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll have trees that are named after certain waterfalls and that sort of thing. So if you see like Mizu in the name, or Shidare, usually some falls and that sort of stuff. And this is named after a local waterfall in Looking Glass Falls.
Oh man, Looking Glass Falls is a beautiful waterfall here in the Pisgah National Forest. One of the first waterfalls that I saw when I moved out here to North Carolina, so it definitely always stands out in my mind because, man, just the beautiful mountain setting there and the way that water just comes rushing over the side of that kind of rock wall there on the mountainside. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, this kind of plays into that effect. You have this weeping style, this cascading style. So you really are getting this kind of a tree form of a waterfall. You know, you can kind of see that concept. Now these are low grafts. These are not staked, so these are low graft. Now you can stake these and continue that weeping process if you want to stake them up tall, or you can keep them down low like this, let them create kind of a ground cover form to it. And great for container plants as well.
Definitely. I mean, you can see these are liking having a little bit of clearance above the ground. I mean, this already gives me that kind of feeling of like a rushing waterfall just from the movement of like both of these plants.
Absolutely.
And something that I think is cool that you can really do with these sort of weeping varieties is, you know, have them flow over some verticality in the landscape. You know, this looks great, kind of moving your eye up and over, making you think like there's movement in the garden, you know, and it's dragging your eye throughout the landscape just by kind of crawling over top of, you know, some of the structures in the garden. And this is going to give you some great fall color too. So like imagine just a nice carpet of red just kind of spreading out through the garden over top of some of the structures. And this is going to be an awesome tree, Area 51 introduction, so you know it has to be good.
You got to pick one of these up, man. Looking Glass Falls.
Guys, we were just talking about a nice waterfall, and we got something that, you know, kind of carries a similar, you know, connotation. We got Kawwahara no Midori, which means, you know, a lush, beautiful floodplain area, you know. Very fertile. It's going to be giving you some nice greens.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the green machine right here. Beautiful chartreuse greens when it comes out in spring. You also have this really nice green bark on this as well. Very reminiscent of cultivars like Aoyagi. So, you know, if you have some backdrops in your garden, like if you have a red lace leaf, or if you have some conifers behind, like some blues or some like really nice yellows, you could pair this out in front of that and really show off that green bark on this tree.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it reminds me of some of the crazy like species maples that I've seen, you know. There's some that just have this completely green bark. And this one, it just is so beautiful. It's got such a crazy, nice, lush feeling. If you're trying to get that kind of, you know, fresh, lively feel in the garden, I think this is a great one to check out. It's kind of funny, you know. It's like I feel like you can look at some trees and like you can tell the fall color of them sometimes. Right. And now this is a coral bark, so I guess maybe that's kind of it lends to it. But this is going to be a great yellow color during the fall time. It's going to really, you know, look really interesting between that greens and those yellows as you kind of see the play between those two colors. This is going to look great next to all the other coral barks, you know, giving you that classic yellow variety that you get from a lot of those coral barks.
Yeah, I absolutely love this cultivar, man. This is kind of one that you don't see around too often, so one that we are glad to be able to share and make available here on MrMaple.com again for you guys. Definitely, if you need some kind of a winter bark interest, this gives you that nice green and that fall color, and that yellow is absolutely insane, man.
Oh yeah, it's
definitely
amazing.
Pick one of these up. All right, guys, we got another exciting plant for you today. We have Acer Palmatum Cashmere.
Yeah, Area 51 introduction. You know, this plant is out of this world. It kind of looks like something that's a little bit alien.
Yeah.
Now, if you're new to maples, maybe this is the very first video you're checking out. This is an awesome family of trees that we call linear-lobums. And now, it's called a linear-lobum because the lobes look linear. No, I'm just kidding, guys. This is a variety that I guess is kind of like a subspecies of maples. I don't know if it's genetically a subspecies, but unlike lace leaves that are mostly weeping varieties and they have a lot of sublobes, what you'll see in a linear lobum is that the lobes are very strap-like. They're very pointed, and sometimes they get very fibrous. They just almost look like needles on a conifer, and we love them because they give you this really nice, lively, bamboo-esque, small foliage feel in the garden.
Yeah, I mean, the texture on the linear lobums is really, really cool. I mean, it just has such a kind of weird, kind of stringy texture to it, especially on that older growth. Now, on some of that newer growth, you can get a little bit bigger and broader of leaf on that, but that's nothing to be worried about. As the branches mature out and the leaves come back that next season, they'll be more like that strap leaf style. Now, what sets this one apart a little bit is that lobe will twist and curl and really gives you, it wants you to kind of look closer at it. I think this is one that you definitely want to plant somewhere that you can walk up to it and really experience the texture of this thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that helix effect that you kind of get from the lobes on this tree is just like, it's really magical. It kind of gives like this really nice texture because, you know, most of the time the bottom of the leaf and the top of the leaf are made out of different materials. So sometimes, you know, they can be a little bit different colors and give you, that really nice texture, the play with the shadows. And this is going to give you some really, really nice reds during the fall time. Mm-hmm. It's just going to kind of look like this nice, like wispy red, like kind of tree out there in the landscape. I know Matt's always talking about Led Zeppelin, you know, so Paul McCartney and those guys really know what's up. And Matt knew what's up whenever he put a name on this tree because it just sings.
That's right. Got to pick one of these up, Cashmere. All right, guys, here we go again. Bringing you another really cool cultivar. We got Acer Palmatum Isabel.
Yeah, this is such an awesome variety in that Corallinum group, introduced by a nurseryman out in Holland. I know Matt and Tim, they speak very highly of this guy. He's passed away, but Dick Vandermaat. Usually if you see kind of like a European looking name on some trees, and if it's a Corallinum variety as well, you know, don't quote me on this, but most of the time it's going to be a Dick Vandermaat introduction. He has like, he loved like those spring color varieties.
He's a lot about that spring color, and this one is no slouch with that. I mean, this comes out a really cool shade of pink, kind of this powder baby pink color. Really exciting spring color maple for sure. I'd love to see something like this done in bonsai. You know, you see all the attention like on Deshojo or Shindashojo, but I think Isabel would definitely be a candidate because of that really high interest spring color that it gets.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love that spring interest. It is just like that brightest candle. It burns the quickest, you know. It's like these beautiful spring colors kind of overwhelm you with just like a flash, and then they kind of start malting, and you get a nice like transitional period as you kind of get those pinks transitioning into some greens.
Yeah.
But then summer kind of gives you a little bit of that encore, just kind of giving you those little splotches of nice pinks, like kind of looking like polka dots across the tree. And then finally you come in for the finale and get some awesome, awesome orange red hue fall colors.
Yeah, man, this thing is really nice. If you're into those kind of spring interest and then getting some great fall color, this has got a smaller leaf too, so really lends to the texture that this plant can provide out there. I can just imagine this pairing so well with so many different other things in your garden, because you have that really nice pink spring color. So if you put this other near like some reds or some greens that come out, chartreuse greens, it'll really make that pop. Great texture on this plant. I absolutely love it, man. Get you an Isabel today. Dick Mandermatt introduction.
Oh yeah. Imagine the coolest garden that you absolutely can. You know, you got your sunglasses on. You're riding your motorcycle around your garden, man. You got your leather jacket on.
Right.
But you might need a plant to kind of accompany that vibe. Look no further than Jet Black, guys. Acer Palmatum, Jet Black. This is a awesome dark red variety introduced by Buckholz Nursery.
Yeah, I mean, when you're thinking about like red upright Japanese maples, you're always kind of trying to find something unique, you know, that you might be able to add to your collection. I think Jet Black definitely does it. I mean, there's a good size one here that they have planted in the gardens, and the color on it is so dark that really, you know, that name is very aptly fitting to this. I mean, with that jet black color, it's kind of crazy just because it has this like weird, like translucent kind of feel to the leaf when you see the light shining through it. But when you come up on it, it's really, really dark foliage on that. And telling Buckholz introduction, so you can definitely, you know, whenever he puts a name on a plant, there's a reason.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to give you some really nice contrasts. You know, I talk about black lace, but this is kind of like the palmate style cousin.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a regular palmate leaf. It's still kind of heavily Matsumuri style, but it's got a lot larger of a leaf, a lot less sublobing going on. And I think it's a little bit slower growing, which can be nice for those kind of smaller gardens. Now, this one, I would love to see. What's some pairings you would throw next to for this guy, man?
I don't know what Tim would say, but you know, I personally would probably go with a summer gold. I mean, probably not what Tim would pick, but it definitely what I would pick. You know, for a summer gold to pair next to this. I love those dark colors because they make everything else stand out in your garden. And you know, we talk about that a lot with some of these darker cultivars like black lace, and now we have jet black. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, this gives you that like true upright palmatum style leaf to it. Bright scarlet reds in the fall as well. So I mean, it's just going to put on a great show in your fall garden. And yeah, I mean, you can expect a little bit over a foot of growth on this a year. So it gets out there. It's a good medium-sized tree for your garden.
Yeah, definitely. This one's one that you're going to want to collect. I mean, you can see that sun kind of peeking through those beautiful leaves right now. And looks amazing.
All right, guys, we got another exciting plant for you here. We got Acer Oliverum Hot Chicken. This is from the Heat Seeker series, man, and we're in summer right now, so it makes sense to be offering the hot chicken today. You want to get this out in your garden, give it some sun, man. These can really handle the heat out in your garden. So if you're a gardener in a high heat location down south, you need something really, really sun tolerant, hot chicken is the way to go. I absolutely love this tree, man. The texture on this thing is crazy. I don't think there's anything else out there that really does what hot chicken does. To me, it reminds me of like a sessilifolium / linear lobum / palmatum. Like, it's just got so many different influences. You can see how the hybridization of this has really created something interesting. The texture's off the charts.
Yeah, it is super, super funky. I mean, I I'll put this on the record, man. This might be my favorite Heat Seekers introduction.
Yeah, man.
Close race between like Hot Rod and this variety, and Hot Blonde's up there too, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hot Chicken is such a cool plant. I mean, seeing one of these that's got a little bit more size on it, you talk about how it can be all three of those different things. And yes, it's so true. Like the further you go down, the funkier stuff starts looking. It's cool because sometimes it shows like a true cecilifolium variety. And then other times it's like a palmate leaf that's like scrunched on top of each other, like kind of laying all out. And it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool. And hopefully that's not making me scare you off of this plant because it's so dynamic.
Yeah.
And just its growth habit, just the texture and the contrast that has in itself is just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the hybridization that they've been able to kind of get with these Acer Oliverum varieties, kind of breaking into that world where we're creating new cultivars in that, species of maple is really exciting. And then to get something that's like this wild is really cool. I think, when it comes to your landscape, I mean, if you put this out there, you're not going to have anything that's quite doing this. I've got one in my garden. And it's got it in full sun, and the thing looks crazy right now. It's got a lot of new growth popping on it. You can see just a little bit on these, that chartreuse, but it does have a little bit kind of a pink blush to that new growth as well. So when this thing starts really putting on that summer growth, it's just so cool. And the fall colors are really nice too. I've seen a lot of variety of colors on this. You can range from yellows to oranges to reds. And so you can imagine that fall color with this texture leaf. It's just next level, man. Acer Oliverum Hot Chicken. I mean, MrMaple, I mean, they introduced some good, man. And part of the Heat Seekers series. So if you have a hot blonde and a hot tamale, you need a hot chicken, man.
This one's finger looking good, man.
That's right.
All right, guys. We're hitting up a couple different notable nurserymen today. We talked about Buckholz, talked about Dick Vandermatt. Right now, we're going to talk about this tree, Pevey Minorette, named by Peter Bergelt. If you see Pevey in front of a name, that's usually what it's talking about. This is a Taxodium dissecans. So it was a bald cypress, used to have a long flowing mane back in the day. College was a little rough. Now it's a bald cypress. But this is going to be an awesome variety. If you're looking for something that's going to give you that beautiful lush feeling during the spring and summer, kind of an emerging of fall, give you something that looks similar to a conifer though, then you're going to get some fall color on a conifer.
Yeah, I absolutely love deciduous conifers. I think the Taxodiums, your bald cypress varieties are beautiful, and most of them can get huge out in the landscape. This is going to be a dwarf variety when you compare it to other Taxodiums. So when we say dwarf variety in a bald cypress, we're talking about 15 feet in 15 years. So you're still getting a foot of growth a year, but when you think about other bald cypresses that can get 2 to 3 foot of growth a year and you get huge, this is going to be a medium-sized tree for your landscape. And what I like about the texture of this plant is that it's a lot more like kind of densely leafed out than your typical bald cypresses are more upright and stretched. This is going to have a fuller appeal to it, kind of more of a narrower habit as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this one is going to be one to put near like that Japanese garden. Maybe you have a reflection pond, maybe you have a little koi pond. You want to give those fish a little bit of shade, and you want to give something that's going to give you this really nice kind of pyramidal shape in the garden. Maybe give you your one kind of vertical interest, faster growing tree out there. And this is going to handle like water really well. These don't mind having wet feet.
Yep.
If you have a muddy area in your yard, you can't plant Japanese maple, and you've got plenty of vertical area, plant one of these there. It's going to look amazing. The fall color as kind of that bronziness kind of starts to fill all those leaves. It's going to be super cool. And yeah, I just love how these look. It's such a lively look.
The texture on these is awesome. All right, the next one up on the table here, we got Acer Palmatum Mano Nosado. Awesome variegated Japanese maple.
Yeah, man. This one, it's named by the great, head of Tsukasa Maples, Yutaka Tanaka. And it's aptly named. I mean, I love that, the poetic names. Village of 1,000 Leaves, that's what this translates to. And it's just so beautiful. Anytime I hear that, I kind of think of like Naruto or something like that, some Japanese anime style stuff. And this one is going to be putting on a show for sure. If you like variegated varieties and you don't have one of these, please pick one up today.
Yeah, for sure.
This is an awesome tree.
Yeah, Mano Nosado, I mean, I love the purple, kind of dark reds to purples you can get on that leaf, and then your variegation is a light, like kind of a mint green color. So really nice color contrast there with that variegation, and every leaf looks a little bit different too. That style of variegation is kind of sporadic and kind of just changes the shape of that leaf and gives it a unique texture. Some of them are like stretched long lobes with just ridges all the way down with these light little lines of that mint green on top of that purple. But I think, Mano Nosado really plays in the realm of purple better than a lot of others. Sometimes when you get into Japanese maples, you may describe a color as purple, but it's more of like those maroons or reds, where Mano Nosado does give you a nice like dark purple color.
Yeah, this one, it's such a rich color. I know that whenever we see this, there's Benishien and there's Mano Nosado. Both of them have a different structure.
Yeah, they do.
Mano Nosado is kind of more of like a mounding variety of tree. It kind of gets more like a large bush shape. And Benishien is going to give you kind of a lot more height.
Yeah, more upright.
Give you a regular sort of looking tree. But Matt's always talking about some Jimi Hendrix during this, and like that's kind of where my mind goes. I'm just like gliding. Yes, exactly, man. I'm like gliding across all these leaves, looking at how beautiful they are with that play of that lime green, of not only the variegation, but of the plant itself, those petioles being like that lime green color, and then seeing it kind of lit up by the sun too, seeing straight through that purple. And yeah, the whole leaf just kind of has this rugged look to it, and super, super awesome.
Yeah, the fall color on this thing is really cool too. I love when you get into fall color on variegated maples, you get kind of a play of how the different textures and colors vary somewhat throughout the leaf. So your lime greens, those mint greens are going to be kind of those yellow and oranges, and then your darker is going to be your reds. So you get a multicolor, kind of that psychedelic feel when this thing goes into the fall color. Man, Mano Nosado, one that's been around a good little while and a collector's favorite for sure.
The journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first one. The village of 1,000 leaves starts at MrMaple.com today. Check this out, guys.
Check it out. All right, y'all, we got another exciting plant for you here. We got an OG coming up for you here, Acer Palmatum Kasagiyama.
Yeah, this one's really awesome. Really kind of that lineage of some of y'all's favorite trees. If you check out that Buckholtz vlog where Sean narrated it, you can hear Buckholtz talk about some of the trees that he started using to crossbreed to get some of those beautiful ghost varieties.
Yeah.
And this was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I love reticulated Japanese maples. And at this point in the nursery trade, we have so many different varieties of them out there. But this one kind of takes you back to some of the beginning times for those reticulated types. You get into like Shigetatsu Sawa, Kasagiyama, some of those are more of those old classic reticulated types. And they've stood the test of time for a reason, man. This thing's got a really nice reticulation in spring. Some nice kind of soft pink tones. And then you get into those summer months, I really like kind of that transition. You get like these kind of blue greens with these pink blushes. Almost a little bit of a yellow cast to it at times as well with that green color. So a lot of color changes throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. I love whenever you kind of get that blush of that pinkish red coming over top of that. It really helps highlight all those little tiny veins inside the leaf. reticulated varieties, I mean, that was like one of my first maple loves. You know, it's like, wow. Like, if you're getting into this for the first time, I know I've kind of hashed out a couple different varieties of maples, reticulated varieties. It's you know, it's about the pattern on the leaf, where you'll see like a two-tone leaf, where usually you'll have big parts of the inside of the cells on the leaf are one color, and then the veining is a different color. Such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Kasagiyama holds so much cool genetic diversity going on to give us all those amazing varieties from the Go series, or most of those varieties from the Go series. And to really just be one that people still want today is so cool, even after you've kind of pushed to the furthest, or at least the furthest I've seen of those reticulated varieties, and to just come back to a classic, and that has some merit.
Definitely. Pick one of these up today.
Guys, another Linerlobum. If you were paying attention earlier in this video, you already know what that is. This one is red.
That's right, man. We got Hubs Red Willow. Love this cultivar, man. This is one that I think just brings so much unique texture with that linear lobum style leaf, but this one's in that red realm, so you can definitely play off of that. I was just sitting here thinking, how great would it be to put this with a nice cashmere that we just had on here earlier, with that green kind of real small twisting style leaf with this red linear lobum style here. Great contrast in color. I love the texture of Linerlobums, man. They're insane.
Yeah, me too. I mean, and to have these kind of back to back, like for me to see this, you can really notice those differences in the leaves.
Yeah.
Like Cashmere kind of covers the spectrum of Linerlobums, like all the way through, from that fairy hair all the way up to something with a larger kind of strap leaf, maybe just pushing into that Linerlobum. But this is kind of like smack dab right there in the middle, giving you like a super fine, elongated leaf. Not as fine as maybe fairy hair, but this is just such a dope variety. It's going to give you some nice shape. This one is looking a little green right now, but that's just because it's been in 55% shade house. So as you kind of put this out in your landscape, as it starts to get acclimated, you'll kind of see those kind of cherry reds kind of flush back onto this. And man, I'll tell you, I've seen, and Brian's probably seen the huge one at Buckholtz as well. And just having a large variety of this gives you kind of like a really nice tall wide, and it's almost about as wide as it is tall. I've just picked up red with flowing leaves. I mean, I'll drop some footage in this video down below of that Hubs, and just be flabbergasted by it, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing about today is we've got some beautiful 3-gallon size of these. These are nice and tall, nice good branching on these already. So when you put this out in your garden, it's going to kind of have an instant impact out there. Kind of makes you, it plays your mind, kind of lets you imagine what this thing's going to be when it really starts to get out there. Like I said, he'll put some footage in there of the one at Buckholtz, and you'll see kind of how that plays into the landscape there. But man, this thing is a really, really vigorous plant too. So you know, you're getting a good size right here with a good root ball. It's going to really put on some growth and get a foot of growth a year on this plant. And beautiful crimson red fall colors as well. So lots of texture and color contrast, which I think we all want in our gardens.
Yeah, put this next to a cashmere. You're going to get those play between the reds and the greens. You're going to be getting the play between the fall colors, and then play between the textures. Yeah, it's that easy, guys. I mean, we're giving you the pairings right now, like of how to make an awesome garden. And yeah, this is the last one on the 10 at 10 for today.
We made it. We made it. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. It's always fun getting out here talking plants with you guys, especially when we got a beautiful sunshiny day and we get to spend some time in the garden. But we always try to come up with a cool list of trees. We hope you guys have enjoyed this list of plants today and get ready to shop. Yeah, guys, a lot of these plants are going to go pretty quick. There's some cool ones on here. Yeah. So just be ready, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell everybody else too, because sometimes we get a little bit misconstrued on that. Always 10 o'clock.
And guys, make sure to check out that Facebook, MrMaple.com friends, to share with those like-minded and intelligent people on there talking about maple trees, guys. And remember, take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.